No, in the today's class we are more focused towards understanding the designing part in terms of Android, how you design particular things, the files, so understanding layouts in Android. Uh, what is a layout? First of all, in Android, a layout is called as a kind of a file which you create to design the UI inside it. For an example, if I'm creating a login window and I want to put in general simple UI like two of the text fields. In Android, we call text fields as edit text. So if I want to create two edit text, the first one and below to that the second one, and then I want to put a button below to it, I need a layout file in which I'll create a layout, and in that layout file I'll put these two particular edit text and then below to that one button. This kind of design which happens around all the layouts. Now Android have different kind of layouts with it for different requirements. We will see down the line how it goes. So your layout is basically the architecture, you can say, for your user interface, and you can declare your UI elements. Now UI elements, when we talk about UI elements, are multiple. For an example, I can give you as a checkbox, radio button, then you can say as a button, then your text view. Generally people what we are aware of is like a label or something where you declare username and then you give a box for the user to enter something. The username which you give, generally you call it as a label. In Android we call that as a text view. So text views are there, edit text are there, all these are the UI elements which you put inside your layout file. Now there are so this is like a view. Everything in Android is a view. A checkbox is a view, button is a view, radio button is a view, like this. Now when you create and run the application, what happens underneath the framework is when you are running it, then the instantiation of all the UI elements happen from the layout file. So that's the background working process, what you can say, out of the Android framework. Now how many kind of layouts are there? Now let me tell you, it's like a screen or a particular window where I put all these small UI elements. So these screen basically where I put these kind of UI elements, for an example button, checkbox and radio button, have different scenarios. Now if I am creating a kind of a UI which is like a linear UI, if I say linear, I want to put it in this way, that linear in terms of horizontal or vertical. For an example, I have given you the instance of this login window. In login window, I said on the top of it there will be kind of edit text, below to that edit text, and then the button. Now this is a very simple UI where I am following a very simple structure of vertical direction. The same can be achieved in the horizontal direction. But tomorrow if I am developing an application and a demand comes across to me that boss, what you have to do is you have to create two text fields, one on the left side and then another on the right side, and then in between or in the center or below to that in the center I want the button. These kind of requirements can be fulfilled using the relative layout where the views are related to each other. For an example, my first edit text is on the left hand side and my second edit text is on the right hand side, and in between I have the button. The button is related to both of these edit text for its position. So if I change the position of the edit text, definitely there will be a change in the position of the button automatically. That is where the relative layout comes into picture. So if I just try to open this and okay, so my activity is starting. I have said one thing last time clearly, whenever I have to track anything related to the layout or basically about the device, I come to the console. Whenever I have to see anything related to my application, I go to logcat. Okay, why does this web view comes over as of now is because we were using a web view in this screen somewhere over here. All right, that's because of that. the web view is coming here. Okay, now what I would like to go ahead with is activity underscore in. I'll close these things. Okay, we have created a file which is second.xml. How do we charge the emulator? My emulator says to plug in power emulator. Your laptop is charged. Your battery of laptop is good, Shantanu. Okay. No, sure. So the emulator shouldn't go. It might be showing you, like currently if I'm connected to power, if you can see in my emulator, it is showing the power is connected. That's how it works. It's nothing as such. All right. So if I click it back, it's coming here. Okay. So I'm coming, first of all, let me quickly create the layout file. I'm just creating one layout file and I'm going to put a grid view inside it. Okay. Android XML layout file, as we have seen it 2 times. I can go a little peacefully on this. So you can give it a name as my grid.xml. I say I can have a grid view over here, so I can say next and then say okay. Harsha has put up a question. When I run my sample application, I don't see icon in my emulator. So here we are going to take a grid view. So what I can say is I can simply take a grid layout here, so I can say grid layout or grid view. I'll take a grid view. Grid layout or grid view is similar. It's just like okay. So in the layout picture here, I just can take a grid view. I can simply drag and drop it here. The moment I take a grid view, it comes as on like a grid format to me. Whenever I want to see quickly the properties to it, just go to XML and see what all properties are here. First of all, ID is given to this grid view. That's all right. The layout width and height to be match parent and wrap content. That's all fine, because as the number of items will increase, automatically the height and width will adjust themselves. The width has been given as match parent so that it will completely come over the screen and occupy the width. Number of column has been given as 3. That means at a time it can occupy 3. I can change it to 2. I can change it to more than that. So if I change it to 4, it will be a 4 column grid view. If I change it back to 3, it will be a 3 column grid view. I can simply save this, and now I can go to my main activity. Okay. So if you want to do our stuff in a fresh, I would like to select a new class instead. So if I can come here and I can create a new class, I can say my grid view, I can say browse, and I can create the activity. What I did is I am trying to create another class of Java, like we checked the last time also, that if we change the intent filter and all, how does it happen? The similar thing I'm doing nothing new stuff over here as of now. Column wise width and all, Prashant, if you want to check them out, there are properties. You can make changes into those properties and it will reflect on the grid view as far as column width and height is concerned. And there's a simple grid view in this class which I'm going to explain. Down the line we'll also see the custom rendering of each grid into our application. How does that work? Okay. All right. Now, so I was creating the GridView class. I can just quickly, as I am trying to select a new class, I made it this as an activity. I can say finish. The activity is got created. I'll just import a couple of methods as we did last time similarly. So we are just following the same operation, nothing new. I've selected on create and I'll select on resume. That's it. I'm just needing two of the methods as of now, one to connect and one to do stuff. Okay, so which is the line I'm going to write to connect my XML file with this Java file? As we discussed, the file is, the particular line of code is set content view. So I can put set content view here, then I can give it like r.layout dot migrate, and I can say dot. Okay. Now what I need to do is, as I'm going to work in this my grid, I have to use the ID. So I have to declare the grid view in my class. So grid view is a class. Every view in Android is a class, so I can use it. So grid layout, grid view, grid equals to grid view, find view by ID. And I can give it an ID here as r dot ID dot gridview1. Save it. Now what I will supply in the grid view, let's say, so I'll create a string array, okay, to supply it to my grid view. So I'll give it here as A, B, D, E, F, only this much. And in the grid view or list view, we can supply the data with the help of a adapter class. This is one of the important things to understand. The grid view and list view can contain the data via the adapter class. So I'm going to use here array adapter class, which is one of the class given in Android. I just double tap it. To maximize the window, you can just double click it and it will maximize. To minimize, you can close it back. That's it. Okay. Now I'm going to use the array adapter class. So if I use array adapter, or I can use it this way, grid dot set adapter new array adapter. There are constructors, as you can see. I have to select one which will take 3 parameters. Okay, so it takes 3 parameters. I'm interested into these. One is taking the context, the second parameter is taking what? The text view resource ID, and third is taking what? The array objects. So what is our array object? Is the string. Okay, so if you are understanding, if you have a concept of templates, here the T will get replaced by a string. Why? Because I'm going to supply a string array to this thing. What will be the context? This, because I'm using within this activity. What will be the text view resource ID? Android dot r dot layout dot simple list item 1. At the end, you have to give the object. What is the object of your string array? What is the declaration type? str select. Now with this, if we simply go to our manifest file to add the activity, as we did it for the last time, click on the add button, activity, click on the activity, say click on browse button. It will give you my GridView, which is activity for us. We'll click it back, say control save, it will save the application. Now you can see that the activity has come here. I'll just put the intent filter as we did the last time, the cut paste thing. We did it last time just to make this particular activity as primary activity for us. So the launching will happen from here. That's it, nothing else. I can save it. I can go back to my GridView. And now if I will start the application, see what happens. To track the application, let us see what comes to our screen. Can we see a grid view? It's a grid format, one grid, second grid, third, fourth, fifth, like that. If I just minimize it and then I, let's say, change it, and I supply more number of elements. Currently the elements are those which can adjust on the size. So the size of the elements inside a grid is limited. So the class which I have created, in this class, first of all, I have declared a grid. Okay, that's a grid which I have created. I have given the string array declared over here. In the on create option, I have given set content view to connect the file, layout file with mine, and I have defined the grid instance which is of the grid view so that I can put something inside this grid. This line grid.setAdapter, we are putting the object of array adapter here. This array adapter class is a class which supplies data to our grid view. Grid views, list view cannot directly access data. So grid view and list view cannot access directly from an array or somewhere, like of an string array or something. They require the adapter classes to supply data to them. So as of now, we are seeing the array adapter class which is responsible to supply the data to our grid view. Now this array adapter class takes couple of parameters to it. The parameters which are listed here is, first of all, what kind of array you are going to pass. What is the array type you are going to pass? What is our array? It is of type string. So string, this the type. Then the three parameters. First is the context. So current class is the context which I am passing. Android.r.layout.simple-list-item1 is something. You see that grid view is like kind of a view group, but you still see this kind of A, B, C, all those coming on the screen. Generally we say that whenever we have to create a label kind of thing or a text we want to show, we take a control called as a text view. But we have not used any kind of text view so far in our XML layout, but we are able to render the text on the screen. This particular job of showing text inside a grid view without taking a text view as a separate control is handled via android.r.layout.simple item 1. Simplest item 1, that's what you can understand as of now, and try to work it out with other options which are given as simple list item 2, 3 and all. How does they actually show and renders over the screen? That is the meaning of this particular parameter. The third parameter which I have passed is the string array. This is the array of the string which I have passed. That is it. So this is completely becoming an object of array adapter which I am supplying to this grid view so that it can show the data, and that's why it is coming like this. Okay, now is it clear with all? You have to try it, you have to work it out. When you do the hands-on exactly, then you will understand it 100%. As of now, try to get around with the concept and get clear with the things that we are using. When you do it the hands-on, then you will become more confident in terms of, yes, I have actually understood it right, and what I have understood I am implementing that. So that much clearance should happen as of now. But this complete exercise requires a good hands-on practice to actually have complete fundamental understanding of the grid layout as well as list view down the line as we move on. What I'm trying to put here is, so is that the particular thing is clear with you all? The grid view, how does it work and how do we pass the data inside it? Is it clear with you all? Can you quickly acknowledge? Okay,